Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. I'm Captain Mao.
And I'm your boy T Crawler.
I'm Weapon 2. This is the way.
Thank you for joining us on this episode, and today we're going to bring you our official review for the Disney Plus original series, The Mandalorian. So, as you guys probably know, Disney has its own streaming service, and The Mandalorian is the first original series on said streaming service. It follows a bounty hunter who has the title of Mandalorian. It takes place roughly 5 years after Return of the Jedi, follows him as his awesome day-to-day, life of bounty hunter type stuff. So, we'll keep the first part of this review spoiler-free. Weapon 2, what do you think overall thoughts?
Is it really as awesome day to day as a bounty hunter? It doesn't seem that awesome.
No, it seems pretty shitty day to day, if we're being totally honest.
It's really cool. Reminded me of the old spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood, and seems like he's just a gunslinger going from town or planet to planet in the galaxy, doing, like you said, bounty hunter shit. And I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. There was some slow moments. There was some episodes that I thought were much better. Like the last three, I think sped up really good, and they were probably the three solid, most best episodes of the season. That's what I thought overall.
T. Collar, what'd you think?
I agree with a lot of things Weapon 2 are saying. It had the Western feel to it. Also, it just reminded me of the an older series that. I compared it to something when we did our on one of our podcasts that we did, the Star Wars podcast we did, and we talked about Mandalorian a little bit. I explained it there, but right now I can't. My thoughts are escaping me. But definitely the Western feel, like. The music in the background. Oh, the David Carradine Kung Fu. Like, it reminded me of that. Like especially the end credits and the music and just how it is. And it's cool that, like you said, the just shows the Mandalorian what he does. And it's not, it doesn't make him like overly badass. It's just, it's a bounty hunter. He does and he does what bounty hunters do.
But did he use Kung Fu?
No, he didn't use Kung Fu. I'm just saying, like, from what I remember.
We'll just see if I missed anything.
No. The only part from the Kung Fu movie is just the type of music and the ending credits that reminds me of, like, just, I don't know. Not the fact that he used Kung Fu.
Did he snatch the pebble from anybody's hand?
No.
Walks across rice paper?
My overall feel is I liked it. I liked the show. And it was, it was a breath of fresh air because it wasn't dealing with, the Jedi and the Sith and the Skywalkers and the
got away from
all
the
that
baggage.
stuff. Yeah,
the baggage of being a Star Wars
different.
fan.
So I'm actually excited for Disney, whatever else they put out. And Jon Favreau is like, he's awesome. So I mean, he's the one that Iron Man, and from there, look what happened. So right. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it definitely. You hit the nail on the head in that he is a badass, but he's not the kind of guy that'll go in a room and just like waste 30 guys. Like, he gets his ass kicked quite a bit. Like, he's very, very, very capable. And he has he commands respect, but he's not like some super soldier. And it felt like original trilogy Star Wars, like from episode 1. And also, we talked about the music. It would have been really easy to just use like a John Williams score, but they didn't. They created their own freaking theme, their own music for it, which really is catchy and gets you. And again, like you're playing a character in the show that is a faceless protagonist, essentially, because Mandalorians never remove their helmets. So like the way that you get endeared to him is actually quite impressive because you can't see him emoting, you can't see his eyes, you can't see him acting. So that's a tall order for a show to do. So like the writing has to be really on point for that. Yeah. Visually, it was very, very good. It felt like you were watching a movie. Like, there was only a couple points here and there where I thought the CGI was kind of rough, but never anything that was like egregious. And also the story itself, it's a little slow. Like the first 2-3 episodes were slow, but like not uninteresting. Like, at no point was I like, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. I was literally like, the episode would end and be like, oh, cool. Okay. Time for the next one. But it picks up, and about 2-3 episodes toward the back end really picks up. And it introduces a whole myriad of new characters that I think everybody kind of fell in love with on the internet. Now, it's a great show. You should totally watch it, but I feel like there's not a whole lot more we could say without spoiling it. So, do you guys have anything else you want to say before we dive into spoilers?
Let's spoil this.
No, Captain Mao. Let's dive into spoilers.
All right. Hey, head first, bro. Go.
Okay.
Spoiler alerts.
Here's the deal. There's a whole lot of stuff that happens. I mean, first off, now that we're past our overall thing, is that the child,
a hard thing to get
the
past.
Baby Yoda species creature is just the most adorable thing that's ever hit the television.
He is totes
and
adorbs, guys.
He's the star of that show by
He
far.
is, right.
They know what side of the bread they're buttered on because they schedule at least 10 scenes or more in every single episode of him just doing adorable things.
But that's great though, because as I was saying earlier, like you have a faceless protagonist that you're not gonna get endeared
Right.
to. So what you have to do is have another character that you're gonna fall in love with immediately.
Exactly.
That was fucking brilliant.
It was very good planning, and it was exactly. I mean, he's a toast of the town. He's the toast of Tinseltown right now.
But there's so many other cool characters, like the freaking bounty hunter robot was super fun.
Yes.
Gina Carallo or whatever her name is, whoever I can't remember.
There
the
was a
character
whole
name.
bunch of
She was
really
amazing.
great characters.
Even the cameos, like Bill Burr being in that prison break
Yes,
episode, was
yes.
freaking out of nowhere, but fantastic.
Was that IG-11? Was that the robot?
That was the
I think
robot,
IG-11,
yeah. So much of this show just worked, and like I'm hard pressed to even tell you why it did. You know what I mean? Like we talked about in the Star Wars episode of the podcast about how we talked about with H. Dresden about like the fall of an empire and like the power vacuum and all that, which is very much in play in this show and throughout it. But it was really amazing to me how much you give a shit about these characters by the end of the show, by the end of this season.
I mean, they're doing excellent casting, and they're the amount of character that they gave IG-11 and stuff is just he's hilarious, and you kind of fall in love with him, just his whole reprogramming and how he's like this babysitter nanny type thing,
Nurse
and so,
droid.
and so the I think it's the perfect mix of everything familiar. This universe and everything is familiar. You kind of recognize stuff. It feels like you've been here before and you know what's going on without all the baggage of the characters that you're tied to, and you have huge emotional connections. So therefore, if they use them in a different way than you anticipated, you're going to get upset about it. I think it's just a perfect mix of this familiar thing with all new characters that you can get to know, with excellent casting. The writing's perfect, of course, and just a good story, and it's fun to watch. I loved the ending. When we get to the ending, I want to talk about
it.
That.
Definitely blended familiarity and new characters like almost brilliantly. But T. Crowley, what'd you think? Anything else?
I love the fact that it was pretty meta. I mean, they made
Very
fun of,
meta.
They several times, well, at least a couple times for sure, they made fun of the fact that stormtroopers cannot shoot anything.
Oh my God, that was so fun.
Yeah,
So when the one dude's like, I was an Imperial marksman, he's like, that's not saying much. He's like, I wasn't a stormtrooper.
I could shoot. I wasn't a stormtrooper.
That alone would have been fine. But the two stormtroopers that were like shooting at, what were they shooting
shooting
at?
at a plant.
And they just kept missing. And it was the funniest
And they
thing.
like look at the gun and they shake it to make sure it's working, and they start shooting and can't hit anything, so they put
Oh
it
my
away.
God.
It was
That killed me.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. And even if you there was a scene where Mando was like, he was going through. It was when he was going to rescue the child, and he was like, he was going through the building, and there were stormtroopers looking for him. It felt like a video game. It was like, where's he at? Like almost like the old Metal Gear. Like,
Yeah.
where's he at? And they're looking, and then he like just takes them out because they're like not smart enough to realize like he's probably. I heard a noise over there. He's probably over there. Like it's just.
Yeah, if they would have had the little like exclamation point pop up in their head, then I would have been like, oh, okay, this is making sense.
I did love the fact that in here you actually see. Like people are getting messed up worse in here than the movies, as far as like not including lightsaber stuff. I'm saying like the stormtroopers, like they are getting tore up, like their heads bashed in, like being thrown in the freaking that one Mandalorian, the lady that makes all the
weapons and stuff,
the weapons
the armor.
stuff. She threw one of them in that freaking cauldron of whatever it was that incinerates everything, like that melts everything down. I mean, they had some gruesome freaking scenes in here as far as like a Star Wars thing. Which I liked. I mean, it was nice, and it was seeing people.
And even
it's not just like a shot with the laser. There's a black mark, and they're like down on the ground.
You really felt the weight of like a blaster is gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And you really felt the weight of that.
I love the fact that you see without them saying the different ranks of the stormtroopers.
Right.
Like if you have some kind of color on your armor, then you're actually more badass than the regular ones. Like the fire is red. Like and then you have the black stormtroopers. They still haven't shown what they can do or what they're. But I feel like any stormtrooper that's just not all white is pretty much like, higher echelon, like just higher ranking or whatever. So there's a lot of things in here that was really, I liked a lot of stuff in this show. It was really nice.
I also like that. Aside from Mando's brand new armor that he gets, because he gets a whole bunch.
That was pretty sick.
Gets a whole bunch of new steel to make his armor. He everything's dirty and gritty. Everybody's dirty.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I mean, until the new Imperial troops show up, everybody's just dirty, grimy.
Yeah.
It just shows. It is like a dusty old Western type feel to it. So yeah.
And I really also liked, so I loved that. And like, you could tell they built sets. You could tell like not everything's on a green screen. The visuals looked really, like I said, really good for the most part. You know what I mean? Minus a spot here or there. But again, looked amazing. God, and I love the fact that he is the main character, Mando. He's a badass. And you know, when he goes to, like you said earlier, goes to rescue Baby Yoda, like he can take out stormtroopers. He's a threat. But he's not insurmountable. Like, he's not going to, like, if you send 10, 12 guys at him, he's not going to walk out of there 100% unscathed, you know? And like, they show how he utilizes all the different weapons that he has, and he's clever, and he's smart, and he's capable.
And they don't always work.
But he's not Superman.
Right.
And that's what was really cool about the show. Like, Baby Yoda saving him from that rhino thing with the Force the first time. And I also really love the fact that when they're all kind of discussing what he can do, the Baby Yoda, and, like, how he could use this Force and all that, they don't quite know what it is, and they know that there's this legend of their people, the Mandalorians, having like issues with like beings that could use that power called Jedi and all that, which made total sense to me because like later on in The Force Awakens and all that, Jedi and Sith and all that, that's myth and legend. Like, it's not solidified as something that was real. Even Luke and all that in those movies, Han was like, I've been to this side of the galaxy and the other, and I've never seen some big all-controlling force. You know what I mean? Like that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not 100%. Yeah, that's real. And I love that they're kind of addressing that. It's like, oh, somebody's kind of heard about this, but I don't know what the fuck it is. And like, that was really cool. I would have hated if somebody was like, yeah, he's force sensitive. You know what I mean?
I mean, even on this planet, there's people who have heard of certain religions or certain groups that other people haven't heard of. So I like the fact that not everybody in the galaxy knows everything there is about Jedi. Some of them are like, I've heard something, and some are like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
even
great.
Carl Weathers, that's his name, right? Another meta moment. It was when the one stormtrooper was coming in with the torch, with the flamethrower, and he's like, "Do the hand thing!" Like, you know, it's like he doesn't know what it is, but he knows if he puts his hands up, something happens. So
right.
I like the, you know, again with the making fun of something. Not overly, not making it turn like
but just enough.
A big laugh, but just enough. Yeah.
And also another reason, like we were saying, the show works is because the movies are focused on the Skywalker lineage and like that bloodline, and they have to. It's about this family, right? And so that's fine. But the Star Wars universe is such a huge thing that has so many characters across so many like different time periods that you can have characters that don't necessarily need to tie into any of that, any of like the main movie plot lines, and still adhere to what Star Wars is. And I feel like this show really hits the nail in the head with that, in that it feels like Star Wars. Nobody sparked a lightsaber. Nobody, aside from Baby Yoda, is using the Force. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really relevant to the overall movie story.
Right.
But it 100% feels like it's a part of it and like it fits in there. And it's if this is step one of them expanding their universe via Disney Plus, 1,000% on board, because it was really, really, really good. Like, it's not like the best thing I've ever seen, but it was really amazing. Yeah,
it sure was. Now, here's my favorite part, though. I'm just agreeing with you. Okay, it's my job. I'm here to agree with you and disagree with you when you need to be disagreed with. But
yeah, watch our Rise of Skywalker review. You'll see me disagreed with.
The ending was awesome.
Talk about the ending.
You have Moff Gideon who comes in, who's basically dressed in what looks like from the neck down, very reminiscent of Darth Vader's of costume and his armor. And then, so you're like, who is this guy? What's going on? And then he comes, and then in the end, he comes zooming in to try to take him out with a TIE fighter when he gets shot down or blown up, or what happens is Mando gets him. He jettisons up to where he is and plants a bomb on there and blows off half of his TIE fighter. When he crashes, he comes out with the Darksaber.
Oh, man.
Now, that was dope.
Yeah.
The Darksaber is, I saw that and I go, wait a minute. Is that the Darksaber? I mean, that thing is from way back, like 25,000 years before or something, when, what was his name?
Again, never seen in a movie expanded universe before.
Mazel was the first Mandalorian that became a Jedi, and his weapon was the Darksaber. And I think there's only ever been one, and it's like, how does this guy wind up with that?
Right.
So it has an attachment to Mandalorians, okay, because it was the first Mandalorian that ever became a Jedi. So it's like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next season.
It definitely leaves you, I mean, I wouldn't even call it a cliffhanger, but enough to where you're just like, I really want, like, could I have the next episode now? Like,
right.
Please? Like, that'd be freaking great. But, okay. T. Krella, closing thoughts. What do you got?
No, I was just going to say, like, some of the, because we talked about everything that we like. I mean, I love this. I love it. But some of the things.
You're allowed to dislike some stuff, bro.
That just got me, especially in the last episode, was just like, and it's almost like the classic bad guy thing. Like, what's his, Gideon's like out in there. He's like talking to the guys in the building. He's talking to Mando and everybody he's with. And he's like, okay, so we're setting up this cannon. And you know, if you remember the was it the War of is it the Mandalorian War or whatever it was?
I'll put the name of it here.
Anyway, he's like, he starts talking about it, but then he's like, he names everybody in it that they're with and like something personal about them, which was cool. I was like, oh shit, he knows them. But then he's like, he puts the cannon together. He's like, I'll give you, instead of like 3 minutes to 60 seconds, I'll give you till sundown. You might as well say 2 days to come out. You know, like all bad guys do, they give them an extra amount of time so they can like figure out their escape plan and everything else, which was just, I mean, it's just a little thing that I didn't hate it, but it just kind of made me chuckle because I'm like, it's a classic bad guy thing.
It's a story trope that has to happen.
And it's almost like a bad guy explaining their plan, like what they're going to do. So it's just, and then, so you can't destroy him with the cannon, so he comes in with the TIE fighter, tries to destroy him, and that doesn't work. So it's like, and then they crashes, but nobody goes and checks the wreckage. They're just like, oh, he's gone. We're just going to assume he's gone. And then, of course, he comes out of the wreckage. So another trope there. It's like,
what do you mean you can't destroy him with a cannon?
They're just, Gideon didn't destroy Mando and his friends with the cannon.
Right. Well, that plan, back when they had him cornered, right?
Yeah, that plan went to hell. So he goes in. I'll come down on him with a TIE fighter. That gets destroyed. But it crashes and they don't check on it. So it's another trope. Like it's like.
Well, there's sometimes where you just assume the guy dead.
The plan went.
This guy,
but you're okay.
This guy dead. They don't know he's got something going on, some force stuff.
But you're nitpicking this, but then you're fine with Daenerys dragons getting murdered by one scorpion and then her being able to destroy dozens of them with one dragon.
Hey, this is just what I'm
just
this
tropes are tropes, motherfucker.
You just told me it's okay for you to dislike things, but then you want to give me shit about it. Here we go again. Like
I mean, it's just what
the other things
I didn't
like.
hate it. It was something I chuckled at. Like, okay, this
I just had to bring that up.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He just
It'll be brought up again.
Well, he also showed how ruthless he was when he comes in. They just kill all those original stormtroopers that are there. They're in the way. He just blows all his own troops away.
Right.
He's friggin' ruthless.
He's gonna make a great antainist.
He's
gonna be fucking amazing.
He was great in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, like when you see him, I was like, Gus Fring, fucking Gustavo, motherfucker. I thought he was gonna do like the Terminator, arms out, fucking. I was excited. I was like, this show just got a lot more interesting. So all right. That was fucking Weapon 2. Anything else you want to throw out there? Any other closing thoughts you want?
I can't think of anything else. I know we're going to probably, on our podcast,
elaborate
talk about
a bit,
this again because we're going to have a special guest, Deb from Life of the Kind, who's going to be coming on. And she is a big fan of The Mandalorian and all things Star Wars. So I think
dare
we're
say
talking about all
we're
that.
probably going to be talking about Mandalorian in depth a little bit more. So, yeah. That's fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Also, I want to throw a big shout out to Hailstorm for buying these awesome custom TWG mugs for all of us. These are dope as hell. Seriously, they are so sick. And thank you so much.
This is awesome.
Thanks, Hailstorm. Good work. We appreciate you.
All right, guys. Got anything else about The Mandalorian? Nothing?
Nothing.
All right. Watch The Mandalorian. I think we give it the TWG seal of approval. And definitely check it out on the Disney+.
Check out Stolen Cheese, all one word.
Stolen cheese, all one word. If you search stolen cheese, 2 words, you're just gonna get some freaking dairy theft videos, and you don't need that.
Don't need that.
Go to TeePublic, check out Stolen Cheese, all one word for some TWG merchandise and some original artwork by this man. Some awesome shit on there that you can get.
Yeah. Hey, follow us on Instagram though.
Check out the Instagrams. Check out the Facebooks. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, as you probably are, hit that thumbs up button. Give us a little like. Subscribe to the page, please. We want to grow. It's fine if we don't, but we'd like to. But yeah, check out all our content. Check out the rest of our videos.
go,
Thank you
bro.
for joining us on this episode of the world's greatest news and reviews. If you've enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe.
Peace.
Review. Fuck, I fucked that up. Wow. Let's do that again. I like that I can do takes now. Hang on. Woof. I've been drinking. All right. Take a
Well, you
sip.
don't let him do takes when he's been drinking, slurring words and stuff. Like,
I did another take. We did the whole intro over again, motherfucker.
Nobody knew that. Thank you.
Well, I'm cutting all of this out. This is all nonsense. That might be a post-credit scene. We don't know. We don't know. Are you ready?
I've been ready.
Been ready, bro.
Been ready.
Damn, I'm fucking that up a lot lately.
All right. All right.
That's like 3 out of 4 videos I've totally watched that.
It's all right, fella. You're doing a good job.